And I'll introduce our next colleague, the last person to present before we take any comments or questions from the chat box. And my next presenter is Ms. Yvonne van de Kar from the Netherlands. Yvonne is a member of the new RENATE core group, which took up office in November in 2022. She is a staff member of the Provincial Council of the Congregation of the Divine Word, the SVD Fathers in the Netherlands and in Belgium. And over to you, Yvonne, to talk to us about the areas of capacity building and specific aspects of it that relate to the theme for CSW this year.
Hello, this is Yvonne from the Netherlands. I would like to tell you a little bit more of the RENATE work on capacity building. RENATE is a network and members are all over Europe working to fight human trafficking. And the advantages of being in a network is that you can share information, as we heard earlier this afternoon, but also to build capacity. And one of the examples of building capacity for a network like RENATE is training. A training that RENATE is organizing for all the members every year. And these trainings cover important contemporary topics, new and interesting themes on human trafficking. RENATE has started in 2016 with a training on advocacy, on the next year on human trafficking and migration, on human trafficking and trauma, care for the carers. In 2019, there was a training on human trafficking and law. And in 2020, it was the first time we had an online training on communication. And then when we had the lockdown in 2021, we had our first full training online with all membership, and it was on OSEC. And this is online sexual exploitation of children. RENATE organized this because RENATE is not an expert on the topic. So an organization called IJM, International Justice International Justice Mission. Thank you. Was asked to give the training, and it was here it was International Justice Mission. It was a very interesting and new topic to most of our members. IJM is an organization that was based in the United States and has offices all over the world in several countries. And it's mainly an organization of lawyers and human rights professionals and public officials. They fight poverty, and they also, one of their big topics is to fight human trafficking. In the COVID time, we found out that the number of people, and especially children, who were hurt by online sexual abuse was exploding. The number, as you can see here in the left corner, went up by 86%. And this was really shocking. And in the other top corner, you can see how this works. You have offenders in United States, in Europe, in Australia, but mostly the victims and the local traffickers are in southern countries. And one of the biggest problems we have discovered is in the Philippines. In the Philippines, it exploded over 8 times than before COVID. And you see here a map of the world. And in the center, you see the Philippines, and you see where all the data and the internet connections are going to. So it's Europe, it's Australia, it's USA, and also the Middle East. You can see that also other countries, there is a booming number of exploitation in children online. It was very it was very moving and very emotional to see what happened. I think I went too far. You can see on this top image that what happens is that a child, usually the victim is a child, is lured by or trafficked by a local person that is often a parent or a member of the family, and the child will be abused in front of a camera, and the money that is taken by this local trafficker goes from the richer Western countries to this middle person, and the poor children or the poor families hardly see any money of it. And this middle person receives the money online. The IGM in the Philippines have done a big research on this topic there with their office and with the police and with the government in the Philippines. The Philippines, as I said, is one of the hubs in all of this. But of course, the people who do this are mainly situated in the United States, in Europe, and in Australia, as you can see in the bottom graphic. The average age of a child being abused is 11 years old. This is really shocking. And most of the victims, as you can see, are female, are girls. But there's also 14% of the victims are boys. In the Philippines, IGM have started a special shelter for these victims. How to fight this OSEC, this online sexual exploitation of children? One of the solutions, or one of the things that can be done, is AI, artificial intelligence. And you can see here that what they try to do is to train a computer what is a good image and what is a wrong or an illegal image. And they have to train the computer. For example, you can see here what is an apple, but then not all apples are red. You have green apples, you have different apples, but then not all fruit are apples. So it's very complicated to learn a computer how to find out about what is legal and what is illegal. But it's one of the big advantages of this modern time, is that this artificial intelligence can be used to stop human trafficking and to stop this OSEC. There is a global community working with many organizations working together to fight this online sexual exploitation of children. And of course, the effects on the children are very, very bad. Children have depression, social isolation, they feel anger, they feel worthless. Well, you can see there's a lot of trauma. Even some of the children commit suicide because of what happened to them. Besides this topic on OSEC, we also had a day of training on what's happening in our own countries. For instance, 1 in 10 children between the age of 7 and 17 claim they are now free to do whatever they want online because their parents struggle to work from home, parenting, do homeschooling. This was all during COVID. And so this has a big effect on what young people and children are doing online. And one of the examples that Inique gave us was about a child of 14 wanting to run away from home, put a message on Snapchat about that. And within 1.5 hours, the child was picked up by a gang and driven elsewhere and was used by this criminal network. So you can see there are many, many dangers involved in this human trafficking online. I think I keep it to that, and I want to thank you all.
Thank you very much, Yvonne, and for giving us a kind of comprehensive insight into a component of the capacity building at RENATE.